Hello there, my name is Martínez and I'm going to be talking about in creative and intelligence. I have two materials. One is a text from Eve Genija and the other is a short speech by David Corner. First of all, the video tells about some myths of the creativity, especially in the business area. The first one is that creativity is a personal skill, which is totally false because creativity indeed is a teamwork activity where you have to listen a lot of ideas from your coworkers and kind of mix them to make a working solution. The second myth is about creativity being always funny, but when it comes to reality, creativity involves a lot of ideas from different persons crashing with each other and making a lot of friction, and it can sometimes be um, violent and stressful. The third myth is about companies thinking they can recognize creativity and they can tell if one idea is good or not. That's a myth. That's not true because every single person has a lot of ideas that may be useful in bringing in practice to solve many problems. There's not one single right answer, especially when it comes to a leader telling its co-workers if their ideas are worth or not. That's harmful for the social environment and for the workers' creativity. I totally agree that creativity is like a muscle you can train. And I think that traditional education is harmful for creativity. I know that in some areas of work it's important to do things strictly as they are required, but in a lot of other areas it's a lot more important to be creative and find new solutions to the same problems. It's getting more important every day with the advances of technology in AI because rational thinking is something that computers can do a lot better than humans, and we are getting surpassed every day by artificial intelligence in the everyday activities like reading, investigating, making essays, and that stuff. Instead, we should focus our efforts in training our creativity because that's something the artificial intelligence will never be able to surpass us. Now let's talk about the relation between creativity and intelligence. It's known that intelligence has many dimensions and there are many kinds of intelligence, and some people may not be intelligent in maths, for example, but there's emotional intelligence, environmental, and many other kinds of intelligence that are actually very useful to different fields of work. Creativity seems to be like a layer of the intelligence. Intelligence without creativity is not useful because what's the purpose of having a lot of knowledge if you can't bring that to reality? One example of a situation I solved with creativity was when my dad fell from a tree trying to get some mangoes. He crashed into the ground, breaking some ribs. We called an ambulance as fast as we could, and while he was in the ground, when the ambulance arrived, they asked for his ID card, but he had lost it like a month ago. So they couldn't provide him medical assistance because he had no ID card. That's where I started thinking, and I realized that there are other ways to identify a person. For example, the passport. I told my mom that I knew where the passport was, and she told me, go get it fast." And I ran all across the house and searched it really fast, their passport, and get it to the ambulance. It may sound silly, but the skill to search for an alternative in a life or death situation, very stressful, is a life-saving skill that is strongly related to creativity. That's why I think creativity should be more rewarded in environments like the school, elementary school, high school, because they teach you to think that one specific way in those places, but there's not always one single answer to a problem. And creativity should be more trained with classes about music and arts. Some schools have those classes, but it's not really important for them. And more stimulation to creativity. That could be, as I say, that could be life-saving, and it will be a more valuable skill in future with all those advances of technology.